So now I want to get into the next election coming up in New Hampshire. All right, so New Hampshire is on Tuesday or Monday?
I think it's Tuesday.
Okay, good, Tuesday. This is a much closer race. This is way more interesting. The current polling has Trump at 48, Nikki Haley at 34. And then DeSantis at 5. So that's hilarious.
Yeah.
DeSantis, drop out. Stop embarrassing yourself. Stop taking people's money. Go home. All right. Yeah, go sit on the couch for a while.
Yeah.
Recoup. So I've also seen polls that have Trump and Haley tied. Right.
Me too.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So this is just the aggregate here. Chris Sununu, the governor of New Hampshire, who is a big supporter of Nikki Haley, has actually been downplaying expectations recently. He recently went on an interview with ABC, I think, and he said, like, we're just looking for a strong second. And not really, Chris Sununu. You were kind of saying that you guys were going to win.
Yeah.
And we all know that, so you can't really downplay expectations anymore. You thought you were going to win.
Yeah, it's hard because for Haley, New Hampshire is made up of voters that I think about 40% of them identify as independents.
Yeah.
That seems like the place for Haley to make her bread and butter.
Well,
right?
this is exactly the next point I want to go into.
Yeah.
I have the demographic breakdown of New Hampshire and how it differs from Iowa. So this is why New Hampshire has the best chance of going to Haley out of any other state. Let's look at the evangelical population. Well, Iowa 2024 was 55% evangelical. In 2016, the New Hampshire primary was 25% evangelical. Independents made up 16% of the Iowa caucuses and made up 42% of the New Hampshire primary. Moderate, 9% in Iowa, 27% in New Hampshire. Suburbs, 28% in Iowa, 54% in New Hampshire. Under 45, 23% in Iowa, 32% in New Hampshire. This state is made for Haley. If she can't win this, she's screwed.
Yeah, exactly. So, if we're expecting a strong second here, I mean, I get the argument that they think she still needs time to ramp up because it's only relatively recent that Haley's become the clear second place contender. But I think she needs to take this state to be seen as viable.
Yeah,
right?
And she does. But there's this one, I think it was, Marist. Marist polling recently hit the ground in New Hampshire, and they asked for Nikki Haley's approval rating. And her approval rating is 45% approval, 34% unapproval. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, wow.
That's pretty rough. But you know what's rougher, I think? She has a lower approval rating with independents than with Republican voters.
Oh, my God.
So that really limits her path.
Wait, she has lower with independents, you said?
Yes, her approval rating is lower with independents than with standard Republicans.
Oh, no, I think that's okay.
Okay. How so? Because the independents are the ones who are supposed to be voting for her if she wants to win.
I agree with that. I would be worried if the independents were more. I'm losing track here. What line are we at?
Sorry, we are at crosstab number 2.
Okay. 37% favorable from independents, 44% unfavorable.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's not good because that means like, okay, hold on. What are the type of independents that exist in New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Right? Are the independents in New Hampshire more likely Trump voters? And if that's the case, then Nikki Haley's lead with independents in Iowa might not tell us much about the lead that she could have in New Hampshire.
To you, this isn't just saying, okay, maybe these independents are leaning left.
No, because these are Republican and Republican-leaning independents.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, if they don't want Haley,
right?
Who do they want?
They want Trump. They want Trump.
How are they independent if they want Trump? Right? That's the question.
I don't know, but I think this voter is how Trump won New Hampshire in 2016. This voter was not active. He or she did not feel that the two-party system was doing anything for them. And then Trump was the alternative.
Shake something up.
And I think these people are still excited by him as the alternative. So independent doesn't mean moderate in this case, I don't think.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I just think that's interesting. Sure. But then, this is what's crazy to me. They polled the 2020 election. If Joe Biden is the nominee, 52% of New Hampshire voters would vote for him. If Donald Trump is the Republican nominee, 45% would vote for him. This is among all. Democrat, Republican, Independent. This is the exact same margin Biden won in 2020.
Okay.
Same 7-point win. Then they ask for Nikki Haley. 47% will vote for Nikki Haley. 44% will vote for Joe Biden. Nikki Haley beats Joe Biden in the swing states of swing states.
Okay.
And Donald Trump can't do that. And the Republican voters are making a big mistake nominating Trump because they have the option to not make it a close election.
Yeah. They're too married to him, man.
They're married.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. They're just married to him.
Mm-hmm. Because like we just said, they don't want Haley.
Right.
Like they wouldn't want to vote if it were Haley.
So then that could bring, yes. And then, so if we look at the independents of this, Joe Biden gets 51% of independents against Donald Trump. Donald Trump gets 44%. Go over to Haley. Nikki Haley gets 51% of independents, and Joe Biden gets 37% of independents. So she's getting that swing moderate.
Yeah, I also think that's a good indicator of why the favorable, unfavorable marker that we talked about earlier, that is less. It determines the election results less than what we're asking about who would you vote for if they were the nominee.
Think about this.
Right?
This poll has Joe Biden's approval rating at 40%, and then when asked to vote, 52% are voting for him.
Exactly.
I don't think the approval rating matters at all.
No, I don't either.
It only matters what your alternative is.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yep.
And that's why, Joe Biden is pretty happy with the Donald Trump alternative, because it looks like he could beat him.
Yeah, and that's also why the independents wouldn't vote for Haley over Trump, or they find her unfavorable, but they would vote for her over Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, and then I want to try to get into, like, will people be satisfied? Will the Nikki Haley voter who wants Nikki Haley in the Republican primary turn out and vote for Donald Trump? And again, it doesn't look like they would. A lot of people show dissatisfaction, but more Republicans would be dissatisfied with Haley. 23% of Republicans would be not satisfied at all with Nikki Haley.
Wow.
Which is just...
Well, to me, that's Trump has captured the base so much, right?
Yeah.
It's like, especially because Haley can so easily be painted as this forever war type candidate, right? Neocon type that Trump has pushed away from himself so hard. She's the swamp.
She is the swamp. She
Right?
is George W. Bush's successor.
Exactly. So, the Trump vilifying that part of the party means that her lane becomes much more narrow.
Way more narrow. And so now where do we go from here? We go from New Hampshire. Next, we have Nevada, which is a whole mess of a situation that I'm not going to go into explaining, but they have a caucus and a primary, but only the caucus picks the delegates. Point is, the next important state is South Carolina. Nikki Haley used to be the governor of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
She has a chance to win in South Carolina, even though the current polls show her down by 30. If she does, I know, right? Isn't that so fucking sad?
That's insane.
So, but if she wins in New Hampshire, she might be able to make up some momentum.
Yeah.
DeSantis has skipped New Hampshire. He's already in South Carolina doing stuff.
And he has no chance there either.
No chance. No chance in South Carolina. The dude is done. He's embarrassing himself.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should stop talking about Meatball Ron. I think it's over. we'll give him a break. We'll stop bullying him for now. But, and then after South Carolina, that's going to be it. Trump will have the nomination locked up and it'll all be over. This will all be done by before March.
Unless Haley can win in New Hampshire.
And South Carolina.
Both.
Yeah, I think she has to win both to earn a ticket for Super Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so I think she's got to win both.
So there's no chance.
I think there is a 2% chance.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a lot of calculations to get to that 2% number. I'm not pulling out of my ass.
It's a very
I promise.
specific 2%.
Maybe 2.5.
Wow.
But it's just, we'll see what happens, but it's going to be a whole mess of shit. And again, the exit poll data that I'm going to look at is how many people will not show up to vote for Donald Trump if he's the nominee coming out of New Hampshire. That's the data point to look at. That's what matters.
Yeah, I can understand how you got to that 2% because I'm looking at a poll that came out from Boston Globe today.
Okay.
That put Trump at 52, Haley at 35 in New Hampshire.
God, dude, it's over.